Hey guys, welcome back. Drip and Farm for Pop. I'm your host, Drip Coach, and let's jump right into it. So in this video, I'm going to show you why you probably do not want to sleep on this opportunity and this AMA that just went down with BB, the lead developer or co-developer, I should say, because I think Ricky SP is also co-developer on this with AJ, and AJ is the lead dev behind EMP and SparkSwap. So you want to listen to this because there's a lot of dev speak, and if you're quote unquote here for the tech, then you're going to be super excited about what they're bringing with this and basically the partnerships. But if you're looking for the TLDR, this is, in my humble opinion, maybe the absolute best opportunity we're going to get in this bull run from a project that has a better risk reward ratio than some of the other DGen plays that will indeed come out. Not financial advice, of course, but I would say you want to listen to this and definitely sign up and register for the whitelist. That will be in the description below. And remember, anyone that's on my team, I am going to be locking up at least 80% of the tokens allocated to me from those who use my referral link so that I can actually give back to the community. So I'm not sure what anybody else is doing out there. And if you noticed what had happened in the previous cycle, most influencers just dump on their community. So be careful who you are registering under and make sure that you have some level of transparency with them. That is why the blockchain is here, to verify, not trust. So just be careful. I'm not telling you have to use me, but hopefully whoever you do use, you are aware of their history, their track record, and a way to monitor what they're going to be doing, because essentially this is where you're putting your investment and you want to see it go up, not down. So just be aware of that. Now, without further ado, remember I mentioned in this video here that there's a 2200% ROI. Now that was based off of the cake token, and I have no idea if SwapX will do that in this bull run. But again, we're going to go over some of the tech that AJ and BB bounced off of one another and why it definitely sounds like they have positioned themselves for optimal results. Now, of course, I'm going to give you the other side. There are cons. There are things that you should be aware of. This is crypto, so don't bet your house on any of this. But the most important thing is do not sleep on this opportunity, because as of how many days ago was this? Let's see here. They said they had done 1,400 NFTs already within the first 72 hours. Here we go. 1,400 signups. So that was on the 19th. This is the 20th. They had the AMA, and I'm sure there have been more people that signed up. So I would urge you to get your spot, because they are guaranteeing that anybody that is on this whitelist will indeed be able to mint an NFT. So if you're not on this list, and BB mentioned this in the AMA, there's probably a good chance there will not be a public sale because they will sell out. However, if you put your name on this list, you will be able to get access to the pre-sale. First come, first serve, but at least you will have access. And I am pushing still for that number one spot. I think sitting around 265 registrations now, somewhere in that realm. So maybe you guys can help me push to 300. I like to have those humble bragging rights of being the number one influencer, but only if, again, you resonate with what I'm trying to do in this space. I don't want you just to sign up under me just because you're expecting something in return. I just hope you actually resonate with my vision and what I think crypto and DeFi is supposed to be. All right, without further ado, let's jump into some of the bullet points from the AMA. So this was a short and sweet AMA. First, AJ introduced himself, because many of you may not even be familiar with AJ. He's been around since the last cycle, has some, like I said, successful projects that he's been operating, and him and BB have collaborated, I guess, behind the scenes multiple times. So first, AJ introduced himself and then introduced basically SwapX. And if you're following me, you should already know by now, SwapX is the new DEX, one of the new DEXs coming out on the X1 layer 2 protocol for OKX's new blockchain. Now, as I showed you guys in a previous video, not sure if it came out yet or not, and this will also show up in the potential con side, but I just want you to see it here. There are other DEXs on OKX. So that's good and bad. And again, we'll get to that with the cons, but just to let you know, they plan on being a DEX out here and they want to be the #1, but they are the only one utilizing this V4 tech that they spoke about in this AMA. So the AMA featured AJ Brockman, team lead at EMP and Spark, and BB, a prominent developer known for previous projects like Drip and Animal Farm. That's a typo. So you should definitely know BB. If you've been around for a while, you will remember and realize that all of the Drip community success was solely because of BB. The minute he left and Forex was in charge of things on his own, that's when we had every developer on the Binance Smart Chain working for us, but yet not a single project could actually get done. When it was just BB doing it, you had Drip, you had Manor Farm, you had Animal Farm V1, you had Piggy Bank, you had Pigpen, you had Animal Farm V2, you had the Dog Pound, you had everything come out when it was just BB. But the minute he left, nothing from that system. So this shows his track record and his ability to code and develop within the space. So let's get into some of the advantages. So they spoke about basically trying to help people, if you are brand new to crypto, understanding decentralized exchanges over centralized ones. And what they're creating is a DEX very similar to PancakeSwap. And that's the best way to explain this. They want to be the PancakeSwap of X1, just like there are multiple DEXs on Binance Smart Chain. There are going to be multiple DEXs, as I showed you, on X1, and they just want to be the #1, just like PancakeSwap is the #1 on Binance Smart Chain. They are also using this V3 model of the DEX with liquidity provision and V4. So the V4 tech is not out anywhere else. There are kind of hints at it in different places, but this will be the first of its kind being utilized publicly. And they went over how V4 works, and it's basically, if you want a huge breakdown, you can come over to PancakeSwap and read up about it. But basically all it really is trying to do is add utility to the people that are providing liquidity to the different assets. Before, the primary incentive was for you to stake your assets, and then they gave you a token, and then you just dump that token. But now, when you get that token, you can actually stake that token, and then you're giving a voting token, and that voting token gives you the ability to vote, and also it also pays out yield without having to sell the token. So you're incentivized to keep that token locked up. And then with V4, there are also basically smart contracts in between the transactions. So like, say you're going to buy a token or provide liquidity for a token, and in between it getting staked into the contract, another smart contract can run, and if you're going to remove it, another smart contract can run. So like, you can have an automatic DCA contract put in, you can do like buy and sell orders and things of that nature built into the contract rather than just what we're used to. And I think BB gave the example, he gave the example of how you can limit which hours of the day a token would trade at. So with these hooks in the protocol, you can add in these features in between the actual swapping of the token, buying the token, staking the token, things of that nature. So it just adds a lot more functionality. So it's like smart contracts within smart contracts in between the actual actions on the blockchain. So just insane tech is basically the best way to describe this. Then they mentioned about Ichi, which is the a partner within the actual DEX engine that they're using, which will actually be the liquidity management software. You can find this on their white paper, and it's detailed in here. But the big thing that BB went over is that, I think actually AJ kind of broke this down a little more, is that what Ichi allows you to do is this like yield IQ strategy. So in traditional V2 and V3, you have to provide Well, V2, you have to provide equal parts of the LP. So if you're doing ETH and USDC, you have to have equal parts of both. If you're doing V3, then you have to optimize whatever range you're picking, and then you can add different amounts of each. But the minute you're out of that pair, like I showed you guys with 2 stables, then you're knocked into only one, and you can potentially have impermanent loss. So you still are supplying assets on both sides of the LP. However, with this new Yield IQ strategy, it's single-sided deposit, meaning if you're in ETH and USDC, all you got to do is put in ETH or just USDC, and then they do the rest of this. They find the most profitable liquidity range for you. They do auto balancing, which I showed you I had to do with even 2 stable coins, and then the risk management, and it's 100% decentralized. So AJ even mentioned that you still maintain asset of the actual tokens. You may be putting them in a vault, but you still maintain, it's non-custodial, so you still maintain asset of it. This is a picture of what that looks like, where you select just your ETH token. This is the range, this is the amount, and they do everything else behind the scenes. So that is insane. This is exactly what I was talking about, that I wanted to have created as a trading bot that you would install on your system so you could do your own. This will be native to X1 blockchain and of course SwapX, but this tech is groundbreaking. Like, it's what you would want to have to manage your own portfolio for whatever other assets you want to get into. So all this is the exciting tech side of things, and why, of course, I am super bullish and optimistic for this. And last, they talked about the token distribution mechanism. So basically everything we told you, or I told you previously, about why you want to get in this NFT. 1, you will be getting SwapX tokens based off of the rarity of your NFT. 2, you will be getting swap fees for having that NFT. And 3, you get royalties for all of the sales afterwards if you are the original minter of the NFT. So let's just say you are not excited or bullish on this at all. I am quite certain that if you get an allocation and you mint it at the price of 0.16, that floor will, I can't be 100%, but I'm saying 99%, that floor will stay there, and you will be able to sell it right back on the open market. And then every time it's sold thereafter, you receive royalties. So if you just wanted to buy this and try to flip it, I believe, now of course it's based on the price of ETH, but I believe it will retain its value, at least initially, because of all of the mechanics they're putting in. It's a new blockchain. There's so much hype around this, lots of support, lots of partners, big people. So I don't see it just jumping off a cliff. I think it will continue to ride this bull run out, and then after the dust settles, we'll see where it's at from there. But for a minimum, this is definitely worth, in my humble opinion, and the bet worth getting into, and probably the best risk reward ratio for things I've seen so far in this cycle. Now let's look at the pros for this. So of course, by participating, you get early access to the SwapX token, and right now this is the only way to get the token, and you will be earning those fees I mentioned, and I showed you that before, that there is a lot of potential fees. It all, of course, depends on the amount of activity on the chain. This unique V4 technology that is coming now to PancakeSwap and Uniswap, and you'll be able to participate in this, especially that Ichi protocol, and being able to optimize your yield farming positions. Like, that is insane. The automatic liquidity management is kind of what I was touching on with this V4. And here are the cons. So everything's not sunshine and rainbows. So 1, this is a con, but also a pro, because there's limited availability. If you miss out on this, then you will have to buy an NFT on the open market, and it will be much more expensive, I'm sure. Like, again, I'm not 100% certain, but I'm 99% certain. So limited availability is a con, because if you miss it, even if you're on the pre-sale, it's first come, first serve. If you do not get in, then you have missed that opportunity. And we do know that in crypto and in DeFi, it's kind of the Ricky Bobby quote: if you're not first, you're last. But at least with this, I don't believe there's any like dumping on the community sort of play. So if you don't happen to be able to get this NFT, you can still participate on the blockchain, participate in liquidity pools, buy this NFT off the market, and still have some amazing value from it. Because technically, I think the real value comes after this chain scales and it gets more user adoption. I think we'll see more people later on in the year using it, and more swap fees than we will initially, of course. So I think the value is actually going to be later. But if you can buy it cheaper, then it's better, of course. Second con is, of course, market uncertainty. There's already a big red herring going around with the SEC now talking about how ETH is a security. Luckily, this market is primarily overseas and does not touch the US. And I think you actually can't sign up kind of like Binance in the US. But there's, of course, market uncertainty, meaning we don't know what will happen. We don't know what TradFi effects will have on this. So because of that, it's the unknown unknowns. However, this is the bull run, and historically things do go up, but you have to still manage your risk. Another con is the tokenomics are complicated. They have a lot of moving pieces going on, even with the NFT, with this new technology, with the V4, liquidity management, all this stuff. There is quite the word salad on their white paper. It's very descriptive, but I know a bunch of you out there do not do any of the DYOR, and you just looked at those words on that page and got your eyes glazed over. So we do know that with complexity means that a lot of people won't get in, but a pro on the other side of complexity means if you're willing to do the research and you do participate, there's usually upside for those willing to go that extra mile. So complex does mean that a lot of people won't understand it, and because they don't understand it, they probably won't get in. But as things mature and it gets simpler, then they will participate. I showed you this already, competition and saturation. So there are other DEXs out there, and even this one being featured on DEX tools. It's called an OKX aggregator, our DEX swap. So they are mentioning that OKX DEX aggregator in DEX tools. So this is a new app, or DApp, I should say, and it's, according to DEX tools, OKX DEX serves as a comprehensive decentralized exchange. So that's another one, and it's already getting some publicity and support from DEX tools. So I think this is a pro and a con, of course, because having competition out there makes you have to push to be the best and to get those eyeballs on you. And again, there is multiple DEXs on Binance, but you only really hear about PancakeSwap. And even if you're not number one, there's still plenty of liquidity to go around on a new chain like this. But just realize that that competition is indeed there. And last but not least, it is heavily dependent on the success of OKX network. Now, OKX is performing extremely well. So this is not a con like, everything's doom and gloom, but obviously if that chain, something happens, then that will clearly affect X1. Same way with the FUD behind CZ and Binance affected the Binance coin itself. So you have to realize that you fall under that parent network, so to speak. Same way with Base and Coinbase. So that can be a pro and a con. With this, it's to me, it's more of a pro because there's a global influence overseas, and most of the FUD in crypto comes from the US. So I just wanted you guys to be aware of this and show you both sides. So last but not least, get out there and reserve your spot. Not financial advice, of course, but as I said, if you listen to this AMA and you see where the space is going and that we are literally at the beginning of a bull run, all the signs point to this being risk reward ratio wise a solid project to look into. There's no guarantees. There are black swan events, but so far from what I've seen in this cycle, and shoot, at the end of the last one, this has the most promising components. A actual real utility NFT, real yield generating from swap fees, a real need for this on a solid chain that has been around, well established, bounces around between the top 3 to 5 spots, volume, has a solid user base. This is the mass user adoption phase of crypto. So, I mean, all of the signs point to positive, but of course you got to do your own research. But if you've done your own research and you also agree with the route that I'm going with things and what I'm trying to do, then by all means, I encourage you to sign up, use my link. This is me shilling publicly and openly. And then also I want to encourage you to keep me accountable. So like I said, I want to use all those swap fees, whatever, not swap fees, but the swap tokens, and stake that. and then use that yield. And I want you guys to get in my comments, send messages, ask for screenshots. Keep me accountable with that transparency, because to me, that's the only way this space changes, is when you, the community, actually stand up and demand this from your influencers, from your developers. The problem is, in my humble opinion, is that the community forgets that they are the ones with power. I'm only here because you empower me by watching and engaging my content. If you guys actually realize that it's you who hold the power and the voice, and that you can't be shit on by influencers if you do not give them your attention or your money, then you can actually take the power of crypto back into the hands of the people, rather than, again, into a small concentrated few. That's what I'm trying to get you guys to embrace with this narrative, and me being transparent and trying to do things that way. And I hope that that will elevate the space. I have, again, one of the smaller channels and a very small niche, but clearly in this project, you guys have came and showed up in massive numbers based off of still being the #1 influencer in this project. So that just goes to show you that there is a need for transparency, integrity in the space, and your guys' voices can and will be heard. And then once this launches, those votes that come from this project will be for whatever you guys deem necessary. I don't know what they will be launching and what kind of voting will take place, but I will vote the way that the majority of the community indicates they would like to see something done. That's what the voting is all about. So I'm just a figurehead, a representative, hopefully, of the collective majority of you that watch my content. So again, if you resonate with that, you want to help empower the impoverished, you want to make the slice of pie bigger rather than cutting off more pieces of the same smaller slice, then again, head out there, register, use Drip Coach as your team. If not, find another influencer that you resonate with and that you believe is transparent and has integrity. Don't let this crypto cycle be the same as the last. That's the best I can say. All right, smash that HBO special, help a brother out, like, subscribe, comment down below, and until next time, lift daily and achieve your impossible. See ya. Want to pay your in real life bills with crypto? How about send crypto directly to anyone with a bank account? SPRITZ Finance is a decentralized solution to be your own bank and connect your crypto earnings to real-world bills and payments. They do not take custody of your assets and allow support on multiple blockchains and Web3 wallets. Sign up below using my referral link and you will get $50 back when you make your first $50 bill payment with crypto. Additionally, I will be using referral bonuses to airdrop, donate, or burn based on community feedback. Sign up now.